premium camera on a budget-priced phone which squeezes the most optimal out of today's technology? Best value phone of 2021? I think you're looking at it, the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Michael and I'm so happy to see you, especially if we see each other for the first time. And if you like the idea of inspecting cool tech, then consider subscribing to the channel. I'm in a hurry to show you the Redmi Note 10 Pro, a fantastic smartphone which I've been using for the past close to 3 weeks. So yes, I've had enough time to spend with it in order to tell you about the strengths and the weaknesses. And it's time to sync our watches with 2021's technologies and trends. And here's the deal. There always has been this clear differentiation between flagships, where you have a brilliant camera and all the top-end components, and mid-rangers, which are usually a lot worse than them. That here is something like the bridge between mid-rangers and top-end smartphones, because it offers the outstanding 108 megapixel camera and brilliant battery life. And it's time to share with you the top 10 strengths of this smartphone so that you can easily figure out whether this is the right choice for you or not. Even before we have reviewed these top 10 features, I have to say that at the time we record this episode, there doesn't seem to be anything as good as the Redmi Note 10 Pro at this price range. So let's get started with the top highlight, which is the main camera sensor. 108 megapixels, which is the Samsung HM2 image sensor. Does it ring a bell? Well, it's very similar to the sensors used in Mi 10 Pro and Mi 11, the popular Xiaomi flagships, known for outstanding performance. However, it's a bit smaller than those mentioned. Supports 9 pixel into 1 binning, great for low light photography, better dynamic range than the usual, great imaging processing. There's one more thing which contributes to the better performance, and that's the experience. Xiaomi already know how to squeeze the maximum out of this sensor, and it's nothing but perfect experience. You're gonna notice that it's pretty much up to par with the bigger brother Mi 11 in terms of image quality. Note that the Mi 11 has a different, slightly bigger sensor, so they're not entirely the same. For photos, there's nothing more you could wish from this camera. Daytime or at night, camera quality is brilliant, and every time it will surprise you with great results. Video recordings are also great, however, this is the area where you will notice some drawbacks compared to the flagships, like the Mi 11. 4K is supported, however, at only 30 FPS, and if you need the video to be stabilized, get a gimbal. The image stabilization is only available for 1080p 30 frames per second, and it's not OIS based. Sadly, even the 1080p 60 FPS was not allowing such image stabilization, but if you have a smartphone gimbal, problem solved. So apparently the main image sensor is quite a thing. This is the one on the top, but this is a quad camera setup, so we shouldn't ignore the rest. Well, there are 3 additional sensors. One of them is the depth sensor, a 2 megapixel depth sensor. There also is a pretty nice wide angle camera, and also something that Xiaomi call telemacro. Obviously, combination between telephoto and macro camera at the same time. It's only used in dedicated macro modes, and yeah, it's quite spectacular. Having troubles reading small text? No problem, take your phone out and shoot. Having troubles fitting all the people in the same photo? Again, no problem, switch to wide angle and magic. The wide angle camera clearly is not the best in class, certainly better than most mid-range action cams, and as you can see with some good post-processing, the results could be quite spectacular. Now, pointing towards the third major strength of this smartphone, and that's the MIUI camera app. As you can see, so tidy and well working, and so many great features. AI mode, Pro mode, in-app color grading, a lot of features that were until recently only accessible for flagship grade, like the dual video mode, or the photo and video cloning, which I've tried last year, and it's great to see it available again with the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And there also are other goodies like filters, the shoot steady mode. I like it so much. It has gimbal-like stabilization. Oh, and for post-production, I love the features in the gallery editor. Let me show you how many awesome effects you can apply to the sky, for instance. Okay, I think we've covered enough about the cameras, probably with the exception of the front drop camera, which also performs pretty well. So now we can focus on the rest. And by the way, since you're looking at the display, yes, if you look into the performance, it's pretty good. It's very bright, interesting colors, and it's quite unique because it's one of the very first Redmi models, not the first one, but one of the very few first, based on AMOLED screen. Not only that, but also 120Hz display, something that gamers will definitely praise. One of the few budget-oriented phones that offer AMOLED screen with such a high refresh rate. Very ambitious. Well, this clearly is not among the most awesome panels in the world. There are some red tints notable in certain angles, which mostly would bother you if you switch from a more premium screen, and colors are a bit oversaturated. I think compared to most LCDs it's gonna feel better, and the fact it's AMOLED means a lot better visibility outdoors, especially under direct sunlight. As a person that prefers OLED technology over LCD, I liked a lot this one. It's the right choice for the Redmi family, and I hope more models are going to appear with AMOLED screens in the future. As for battery, 33 watt charging for the 5100 battery inside, and hey, this box comes with an included charger. That's right, let me prove it. When unboxing, we take out the phone, the little box with the papers and the case, and underneath we can find the Type-C cable with this 33 watt charging brick, meaning that you can top it up within an hour, and that's crazy good. The app Ampere shows that the charging can be as high as incoming 6 amps. I noticed that you get around 5.7 with the provided 33 watt charger. Anyhow, result is great and it's superior to most 2020 flagships, as well as even some 2021 flagships. As for battery life, I'm pretty happy with it as it was consistently better than what I got on the Mi 11 a few weeks ago. Larger capacity, screen with Full HD resolution, which is battery friendly, and also not as enormous peak brightness as some flagships, which all combined with the Snapdragon 732, manufactured on 8nm technology, results into close to 2 days of usage. Are you looking for a smartphone with dual stereo system? So that's the first speaker, that's the second speaker. And I think in terms of sound quality and loudness, Xiaomi have finally nailed it with their product line. The Mi 10T Pro has been topping the DxOMark chart for best audio throughout big part of 2020. And here we've got high-res audio, which is guaranteeing amazing multimedia experience. And there also is a headphone jack. No kidding about that. Yes, you have dedicated input for your favorite wired headphones. Okay, let's combine now everything we've learned about the hardware and see how it applies in real-life performance, and talk about how this phone performs when it comes to gaming. And I've tried some of the most popular Android games right now. We're starting with PUBG. Gotta say, I'm pretty bad at playing this, so don't laugh at my poor shooting skills. What is important is that there are no frames skipped, and you can play at pretty high graphics settings. Snapdragon 732 has about 15% better graphics performance as compared to the predecessor, and while not as fast as the Snapdragon 888, it's good for games. On one side we have octa-core processor, on the other a powerful Adreno 618 GPU. The phone efficiently handles even high-intensive games. Everything I've played proves that. Real racing has recently become more power-hungry, but that's no problem for the Redmi Note 10 Pro. In 120Hz mode, gaming is quite nice, and you can see at the same time the CPU loads next to the gaming info bar that MIUI automatically launches should it detect any games. Now, there are a few more components which make this smartphone pretty unique, and the first that we begin with, it's over here. It's the fingerprint sensor, and well, if I show you how it operates, like, it's pretty quick, unlocks every time, never fails me. Initially, I thought it's gonna be in-display fingerprint sensor because of the AMOLED screen, but looks like Redmi have decided to keep it inside the power button, probably with the wish to make it consistent with the Redmi Note 9 Pro series, which also had the fingerprint sensor inside this button, but now the button is smaller, and I think the responsiveness is even better. We're wrapping up now the hardware specifications with, well, it's barely visible, but over here we have this very small thing which is called the infrared blaster. And obviously this is an infrared feature which is operated by the app Mi Remote. Essentially, you could replace almost any infrared-based remote using this blaster, going to the IR Remote app, search in the database for the model that you need, and you've got it. Which leads me to the last part of our journey, the software. Android, of course, and what Redmi uses is called MIUI, one of the most customizable deliverables of Android. At the time the phone is launched, it's Android 11. We expect the major update to MIUI 12.5, which will further improve the battery life and the performance. But even as it is now, the phone has a lot of optimizations and, of course, some really delightful ways to customize it. You will like a lot the themes option. There are hundreds of different styles that you can apply, with countless wallpapers, icon packs and fonts. Every single bit of the appearance of the MIUI can be fine-tuned, alongside with the many options to customize the behavior of the system. Great advantage are the frequent updates. MIUI is known for being supported for a long time with frequent updates, so you will for sure receive the right treatment from Xiaomi when it comes to software experience. Depending on the region, there might be some features locked or unlocked. Being based in Europe, you have to live without a call recording feature, and without the lovely MIUI dialer and the messaging apps. I think Google Phone's native app is too basic when it comes to handling dual SIM systems. I found an alternative phone app which has call recording inbuilt, still testing it, but so far it looks good. So that's it, 10 awesome facts and features about the Redmi Note 10 Pro. It's a brilliant smartphone. As I mentioned, I've been using it for the past 3 weeks. The good news is that because I switched from Mi 11, which is a clear flagship, it didn't feel as such a downgrade. You know, the only notable difference I noticed was the display quality, but in terms of photos that I mostly take, and battery life was much superior on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So here's the point where you can get involved, and using the comments below you can let me know, do you prefer a heavyweight flagship like this Mi 11, or you have a barrier in your mind about the budget for a smartphone, the money you can spend on it? And I think this at the moment is one of the best ratios you can squeeze for your money in terms of technological progress. And it's true, there's a price bump over the last generation, which is a consequence of the hardware improvements and everything that happened throughout 2020. But that's life. I still believe this is one of the best budget or mid-range smartphones that you can buy in 2021. And let me know what you think about it. Comments below are the place where we can continue the conversation. And it's been such a pleasure that we spent the last few minutes together, or at least I hope it's mutual. Well, if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, hit the like if you find this useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye!